Going live. That's what they say before go live. Welcome everyone. We're live. I'm sitting down today in Porto, Portugal, with this guy Wilson.
Hi guys, welcome to Portugal. It's a pleasure to be with Etienne here. The weather's wonderful, and yeah, it's been great.
Okay, so
Here,
I apologize if the sound's gonna be really bad. It's possible. We're like in an I'll be at an hotel, whatever, and there might be some people screaming, or we'll see, but it should be fun. And guys, today we want to do kind of a Q&A. He's gonna ask me a question,
yeah.
but introduce yourself a little bit. Tell people like who you are, what you do, and all that around that stuff. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm a digital designer, and I've always been working in digital. And since last year with the crypto mania, I started investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and I bought some Bitcoin as the bull run was going, and I managed to make some profit, and I kept trading. But then, of course, we all know that the market reversed. It hit a top at 20K and started reversing. And I was hoping to just do a swing trade. But now, yeah, with the market conditions, I'm just holding and looking to, maybe exit when the market picks up. But so I felt like when I invested in Bitcoin, like I said, I wanted to just do a swing trade. So I was looking into selling like in a couple of months, but now it kind of became a long-term
Mhm.
investment because there's no way I'm going to sell now. So, um, but I felt that um, I was I understood a little bit about looking at the charts and analyzing a little bit, doing the technical analysis, but not as much as I thought. Um, so I felt like I was out of control and I
Mhm.
couldn't do anything. So it really pushed me to learn more about technical analysis and being more in control of my trades and doing more swing trades and understand where the market is going and what's going on.
Nice, love that. So, for you guys joining us live right now, I see there's 9 people joining us live, which is wonderful. Come on in the chat. We want to hear from you as always. And Wilson just introduced himself. He
Yeah.
told exactly what he was doing as prime trader, which is putting a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so we have a bunch of questions. If you guys have any question at any time, come below in the chat. We'll make sure to answer those questions.
Yeah.
And we can talk about anything. I know you have a bunch of questions. They have like 3 pages of note prepared. So that's good. And so we can talk about anything you want. So let's start with whatever question you have. And as you guys have more questions, you can comment and we'll answer your question.
Yeah, so I have a question here around strategy. So one of the things that I was struggling with was like, what do I include in my strategy?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my question is, should we always consider certain things when implementing a strategy? Like, should we always look at the overall trend, or is that does that matter, or should we always look at resistance and support levels?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, or can you just trade with without using those? That's
Yeah.
one of the questions I've always had. So, what do you think, Etienne?
So that's a funny thing, and I always think there's no rule in trading. You can do like whatever you want,
Right.
however you want to do it, except that you have to know like whether it works or not, of course.
Yeah.
But some people do it without those rules. I personally learned the way that I told you about. So like you look at the context, what happens first, the chart, the
Yeah.
lines, everything, the zones, and then you look at setups. That's kind of how I learned. So for me, it's really hard to go on the chart without looking at this because like that's the first thing I do all the time. But for someone doing it different with like a script,
Mm.
it's not gonna look at that. Maybe it's gonna be
Right.
profitable anyway. So
Right.
you can have that, you cannot have that, but it comes down to what you like. And I've seen like in the past people that are more discretionary, they like to kind of feel how things are.
Hmm.
They're gonna be really good at that, at finding the zones in the chart, the
Yeah.
lines. But people who are not good at that, that like they want to be more systematic, they're
Hmm.
gonna have a really hard time looking at
Right.
zones and lines because
Yeah.
it's always gonna depend and change. And there's gonna
Okay.
be a time where it's like you look at the chart and then nothing is good, and it really
Yeah.
feels messy, right? So
Yeah.
that's the thing.
So yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've also struggled a little bit, or well, I'm still learning. I started trading or looking more into technical analysis since January. So I'm fairly new to trading. But yeah, one of the things that when I look at the chart and I see a certain pattern, like say a double bottom or double top, I I ask myself, am I reading this right, or um, is is it just me who seeing that pattern, and um, is that really going to reverse? Is it you know those are the things that how do you deal with that? Because I know your
Yeah.
strategy is all about Bollinger Bands and like engulfing candles, and I guess that's when did you when did you start to notice that, okay, when I look at the engulfing candle, I know it's an engulfing candle, and you just don't deviate from that.
Yeah, it's just you have to find rules. So welcome, Naif. What's up? From Colombia. Perfect.
Hey,
So yeah, like you have to define rules for yourself,
yeah,
and then it's only gonna be probabilities. So like have your
right,
rules, this is what happens.
yeah,
And for the longest time, I've been kind of trading at chart, and I had my rule, but then I was asking myself, well, is this like the right thing, or is it
yeah,
like different,
right,
or maybe this is like an exception or whatever.
mm,
But then the answer to this is like to just add more rules, like
okay,
what worked the best, and you have to test even more. So,
okay,
and like every time I have a doubt when I look at the chart, I say, oh,
yeah,
is this fine enough? It means I have to add something more, like a new rule, a
yeah,
new thing to look for.
yeah,
And I always add a rule like this, so that I
mhm,
get to a point where I know like things are perfect, and I know like it's always gonna fit that thing perfectly well.
okay,
And it's not
all right,
some part of my plan.
all right, yeah, yeah. So I think it's interesting you say that, because I think also, I mean, we're looking through my stats the
Yeah.
other night, and um, one of the things that you noticed was I was probably adding too many things to my strategies,
Yeah.
or not being clear. Am I trading a reversal, or am I trading a trend continuation or a breakout? Um, and do the are the things that I'm using to analyze a chart really suitable for that type of
Hmm.
strategy?
Hmm.
Like, um, so I think I was mixing too many things.
Yeah.
So you also got to be careful with that, like not to
Definitely.
add too
Yeah.
many things, because then you're just waiting for a confirmation of confirmation of confirmation. And you're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
gonna ever enter a trade because you're just waiting for too many things to confirm.
Yeah.
And when I think one of the things that you also got to look out when you do that, when you start adding too many things, too many layers to your strategy, is is that then one signal is going to tell you that the trend is about to reverse, but then something else is going to say that it's still going to continue.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting that.
Mm-hmm. So I know a problem you had in the past. Like you weren't really kind of what to trade. You know you were trading breakout a lot. Like that's what you
Yeah,
like to trade.
yeah,
I don't trade breakout myself. But then the question is, you have to ask yourself like why, like or what would come from a breakout.
mm,
And then you
yeah,
get like, there's like a thousand different ways to go about it. Like you have a custom indicator you've bought in the past.
yeah, yeah,
You have different tools to use, different things to look at in the chart,
yeah,
and all those things can work. You just have to put
yeah,
them together,
yeah,
and that's where you collect the data after. Does
right,
it work? Is it
yeah,
not maybe not good enough? And then you have
yeah,
to go back and maybe add something, maybe withdraw something.
yeah,
Like some of my strategies, it's funny. I kind of think I need something,
yeah,
and then I test it with that, and then I feel like I have to add something more because it's not working well.
yeah,
Sometimes I just remove it, and it works better.
right, right,
So that's like the power of having less,
yeah.
and it usually works better
Yeah.
because you feel better anyway.
I think since we went through the things that I've been doing, I think one of the things that helped me was actually write down my rules. I think it's like when you're writing down your goals, because if you're not writing down your goals, it's a bit in the air. Like you sort of know where you're going, but it's
Yeah.
not written down, so it's not as
Uh-huh.
powerful. I guess it's not, you don't remember it, or
Yeah.
you don't stick to it. So
And you cannot really track them. It's
yeah,
really hard to track.
yeah, and
Or
it's a big part
yeah,
of trading is when you start tracking, because it doesn't, if you have all these rules and you're not tracking how effective they are, you have nothing to work with.
yeah,
There's no data to work with. So
definitely. That's a big thing. So if
yeah,
you have any question, comment below in the chat. This
yeah,
is once again Wilson. If you're just joining
yeah,
us live, and he's from England, UK.
Well,
Uh,
I'm
yeah.
originally from Portugal,
Yeah.
down south, Montijo. Uh, if anyone is watching from Portugal, hi guys. Um, and yeah, I've been living in London for 13 years now. So
It's awesome.
yeah,
Cool. So yeah, we want to answer your question as always, and there's a few topics. We could talk about this for 2 hours, but we want to keep it short anyway.
yeah.
But your question will make it better for sure. And I know you have a bunch of other things to talk about, so next five
Um,
pages.
yeah, I mean, the other thing is, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more about backtesting.
Mm,
Um, if you want to just talk a little bit about that, like what platform you use. I know you've
yeah,
covered some of the things before, but because if you could just talk about a little bit more about that, what platform you use and how
sure.
you started.
So this is gonna be kind of a recap because I feel like
Yeah,
I've went through so many ways of backtesting over time.
yeah,
Some are free, some are paid, some are long, some are boring, some are
yeah,
easy to do. And so, but it really depends like what you like and what you can do too.
yeah,
So the first way, like the worst, I think worst way ever, is that you go through the chart manually. So you go back in time. You can use
mm,
Trading View. You can go back in time.
yeah,
You can use MT4. Go back in time,
yeah,
and then look at the chart, and then you write down on the sheet of paper next to it.
hmm,
Well, I would enter this trade would be like a loser. You don't need much, like just what trade, or if you want the time, or just even like a number one, and then it's gonna be let's say loser. So if you lose say 1% per trade, you just put -1, right? And then you win. It's gonna be
right,
let's say +2, -1 +2. Then you just add at the end. And this is good, but it's really hard to get the data, like how much. Like you can calculate how what's your win rate,
yeah,
but at the end, like it's really hard to know how many losses you have in a row, or you have to go back to all your paper.
okay,
So that's feasible. That's good if you just want to try.
hmm,
But I think you have to level up a little bit more after.
right,
So second option is like buy a software like Forex Tester 3,
hmm,
which my, in my opinion is like crap.
all right,
But that's the way to do it, and that's going to speed up the process. The other option I told you about is soft for FX. It's a
yeah,
software that
yeah,
you can use on MetaTrader 4 like a plugin
yeah.
in EA to backtest, and that goes pretty well. You get your
Yeah.
data at the end, you
That's
place your
my
trades.
Forex book, right?
No,
No.
that's soft for FX.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
plugin you put it on MT4. It's gonna track your trade. Like you can enter them as if you were entering trades for real.
All right.
At the
Okay.
end, it's tracking like how much you make, what win rate you have, all the stats,
Right.
and that makes it pretty easy. And this is like pretty cheap anyway. It's a plugin you buy. And there's other
Right.
free ways to do it. Now the other good option is if you want to code a script
Yeah.
on MetaTrader 4, you can do that pretty easily. So you write your script, how much you like when you want to enter stuff, you backtest. It's really fast. That's the
Yeah.
good thing. Like in 2 minutes, you can backtest 20 years of data or
Yeah.
whatever. And but that's good if you only if you know how to code, and if your strategy can be coded.
Yeah.
Like for me, I would do that, but then I would have to go back on the chart,
Yeah.
see if it missed the zone that I want to trade at.
Right.
If it's not the zone, then I don't trade. So I have to like mark, well, this is at the zone, this is not the zone, not zone, and
Uh,
calculate again after.
Have you looked at coding your own signals? Or?
Yeah. But I cannot do it now because of the zone thing
Okay.
that they have to be a specific zone, and that's really hard to code.
All right. Okay. Interesting, man.
Yeah.
Do we have any more people watching here?
People are working at this
Yeah.
time in the US. That's the thing.
So,
Oh, I see
hey.
that. Good question. One question, please. Wonderful. Why do traders need leverage? Oh yeah, I saw this recently. I don't know if
Right.
that was naive. I saw this comment few days ago,
Right.
but I think I didn't reply. That's cool. So this is a really good question, and I used
Hmm.
to think that leverage was not useful at all. Like you don't really need leverage if you're going to risk like 1 to 2% of your account, and I still believe it. But the point is that leverage is so good because you're probably going to take multiple trades at a time, right? And
Hmm.
when you take more trades, you need more capital. Like the when you buy, like it doesn't seem that bad, but let's say you buy 1,000 unit,
Yeah.
it's still like $1,000.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need like a lot of capital to buy that,
Of course.
and that's what leverage is for. Instead of putting down $1,000, you only put down like
Yeah.
what $70 or less,
Yeah.
maybe.
Of course. Yeah.
So that's kind of the point of that, and it just allows you to put more trades, and yeah, the problem is that people market like talk about that as if it's a way to make more money,
Yeah.
but it's not how you should see it. I think, in my opinion, it's like leverage, yeah, but yeah,
I
that's the
I
principle.
think what is it Naib
Naive, yeah.
Naib is asking is, um, I think he's asking why do you use leverage if you're only risking 1 to 2%?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
It's to allow you to put more trades.
yeah,
So,
basically, yeah,
but at the same time, like just this thing with the rollover, like the interest you get per trade, that's going to
yeah,
depend on how much leverage and how much size you have.
of course.
So some people do that and they get money or income from that, but you cannot, I think, make much from the rollover fee anyway. What would be a good sample size to have on your backtesting? I think I told you that a few times. You know the
Yeah.
answer?
So at least minimum of 20 trades. I think that's the minimum you should
Yeah, yeah,
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what I do is that backtesting is really easy to do. Like it doesn't take too much time. To have 20 trades of live, it's gonna
Yeah.
take more time. But 20 trades backtesting takes a few seconds, right?
Yeah.
Or a few hours, let's say. But so I would say 50 trades to 100 trade backtesting.
100 trades. Yeah.
But then you want to go back live to evaluate. Is this still the right thing? Does this still work? And that's what the 20 trade increment can be useful for. So you go back every 20 trades, which might be a month, 2 month, 3 month, or a quarter.
You mean on your live trades?
Yeah, yeah,
On your
yeah,
live
yeah.
trades. Yeah.
To evaluate, well, do I do the right thing? Like, did I have too
Yeah.
many bad trades?
Yeah.
And just to keep yourself accountable, to keep yourself tweaking stuff
Yeah.
and modifying things over time.
Of course. Yeah. And one of the things you mentioned before is good trades and bad trades. Um,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that just the profitable trades doesn't mean that you're good trades because even though you're profitable, I think it's more important to actually follow the strategy than just having winning trades.
Yeah.
Because then you have this sense of that you're progressing and you're actually making a lot of money, but you can have really bad drawdowns when things go wrong. So
Exactly.
um,
We
and
were
then
talking
you're
about that yesterday
yeah, we were talking
evening.
about
Yeah.
that, and then you're like wondering why did this happen? Why did I lose so much money? And
Yeah.
that's because you're not following the strategy, and
Exactly.
you're not following the data that you
So
back tested.
the bad winning trade are the worst ever because you feel good, as you said.
Yeah.
Like you said, you feel good. You feel like you're doing the right
Yeah,
job.
exactly.
But if you do them over time,
Yeah.
then you start to crash, and
Yeah.
that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question here. I've seen the animal again. What are the benefits of backtesting?
Uh,
I think you can answer that because I told you so many times.
well, it's really just to well, you're not using your real money in the first. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
You're not losing money to test your strategy, um, and it's just quicker to do because you can go onto any chart and you can go back and just test your strategy. Um, but like you said, I think it's important to use the right tools to make it
Yeah.
easier for yourself and more, I guess, more reliable too.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that's definitely it's fast. You're not using your money to test your strategy, and you have the data to uh, just to look at stats
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
track that.
I think I'll answer that with one word,
Oh,
and that's even more simple. I think it's all about confidence.
confidence.
Because like
Right.
you can trade live, but then you're gonna second guess yourself, try
Yeah.
to modify things over time, take profit
Yeah.
too early, too late, when you
Yeah.
stop. But if you have the confidence that it works, like if you know
Mm.
60% of the time when it reached that or when I
Mhm.
enter that, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
You would have no reason to exit the trade.
Mm.
So that's the whole principle.
Yeah. It's good.
Um, yeah.
Someone's saying that.
Someone, yeah. So Christian, yeah, good point. I think you don't need 20, but like 200 trades is simple. Yeah, that's a good number.
Yeah.
50 is like minimum, and if you swing trade, it's kind of harder to take trades and to get a lot of data.
Right.
If you day trade, like 200 trades is really fast to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, if not, you
Yeah.
just have to accept, and you should get a good idea with 50 to 100 trades
Yeah.
on average. Question from Wilson. Okay, Rambo. What are your favorite pairs? You can answer that. I can answer that for myself. I trade 15 pairs myself, or 18 pairs now. But yeah, do you have any favorite thing? I know you're kind of starting out with that.
Well, yeah, I'm just starting with Forex. Really, I've been trading more the stock market, so the S&P and the German DAX, and tried a bit of crypto again, but that didn't go too well.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped trading crypto. But definitely, I've been trading more stocks. So the S&P is my favorite chart. I think it's you said this before, and I think you some people that you interviewed before said it's good to at least know one chart that you know really well, that you know how it moves and how
Mm,
it respects the trends and reversals and support and resistance levels. I think, and that's my choice
yeah,
my
exactly.
choice is looking at the S&P. I remember like when I started looking at Bitcoin. I started having a really good feel like how the market was moving when it
Mm.
was moving up. When it started consolidating, forget about it. That I didn't know what was happening anymore.
Yeah.
But well, bull markets are much easier to understand because they
Mm.
just they keep moving up and consolidating, moving up, consolidating. So it's easier to spot when it's about to break out. But when my strategy personally wasn't adapted for that
Mm. Mm.
consolidation periods of the market. Um, so yeah, I didn't.
Nice. Cool. We have Alejandro joining us. Welcome, Alejandro. It's perfect. And yeah, I'll do just a quick pause here to say that we have a mastermind call for the academy tomorrow. If you're part of the academy, then you know probably about that. If you're not part, then forget the message. It doesn't really matter. But Alejandro is part of the academy, so I'll talk to you tomorrow, maybe.
All right.
Awesome. Bunch of questions that just came in. That's perfect.
Wow, super.
Animal, what are a couple of things to modify when you see that your strategy is not performing well in the backtest? Okay, same thing goes with live.
Right.
If it's not performing well, there's a bunch of ways you can tweak it or modify it. The easiest way it's going to be like to add conditions, so add more rules,
Yeah.
maybe withdraw some rules. But the other ways are like, uh, I think for me the best way I've seen over time was taking partial profit,
Yeah.
like at 1 to 1 over 2 risk, at 2 to 1, 3 to 1, whatever.
Mhm.
But you not like putting this really far where it's like tough take profit to achieve. And for me, that kind of completely changed some strategies I traded before.
Mhm.
Some really bad results I had or some big drawdown, they
Yeah.
became really less with that. Other ways is like if you take profits too far, put it closer. If
Mhm.
it's too close, put it more far.
Yeah.
Or maybe reduce your stop loss in some ways, or increase it a little bit, right? Put some room. Or you can use what we call a feeler. So you would enter like a little bit earlier. It's like progressive entry. You enter earlier and then a little bit more later as
Yeah.
it goes in your favor.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another way to do it, right? But there's plenty of ways, and you have to kind of experiment, go back and forth, and test it. And that's where having a script you code to test
Yeah.
is really useful because you can tweak it in a few minutes,
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
you back
just
test
let it
run
run
it again.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's part of it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I've
Super.
seen many. What is the structure of a strategy? An example would be great. Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
the structure of a strategy. Yeah,
Structure.
yeah. We talked about it earlier. I think.
Yeah.
What the principle is like, and this is only the way I do it because a lot of people do it that way, but it's not gonna work for everyone. I look at first of all the context,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna be zones in the market, price action, and then indicator. Okay, so if you can just feel these parts, you're probably
Yeah.
gonna come up with something kind of good or
Right.
average at worst.
So
So
I
yeah,
think one of the things that you should always take into consideration is definitely the overall market,
yeah,
right?
context. Yeah,
The context. I think that's always beneficial to have
yeah. But some people don't do
before,
it. Some people forget that part and they just call something
right?
without the context. It's fine if it works, but like, it, I think if you're gonna trade with a script or an algo,
Mhm.
easier to not take the context into account.
Right.
You look at different things. But if you trade manually,
Yeah.
I think you need some sort of context. So far, from what I've learned in 5 years of trading.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, for me, breakouts. I definitely look at resistance and support.
Yeah.
And just I'm waiting for for the breakout when it's consolidating after
Yeah.
it breaks up or down, and then I look at the resistance or support levels as a target to
Hmm.
exit the trade. And yeah, this
Yeah.
is part of
So
my
I think, yeah, let's take your example as an example because I've talked about mine so much that I want to repeat myself. But so let's say with you, so you trade breakouts.
yeah,
So the context would be either you look for like a range,
yeah,
so like a period where it's like right, ranging,
yeah.
or you look for a period where it's trending before and then ranging, right? Those could be two contexts you look for.
Of course, yeah. If so, yeah. If it was like on a bull run, so you have
Yeah.
a bull leg and it starts consolidating. at the top, then usually if it's not, if you don't see like a resistance level before
Mhm.
where it's started consolidating, um, then the probability probably is to go higher.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's nothing really
Which is
there
yeah, really good. Yeah.
to stop the market. But um, yeah, like
Okay. So we've done the context. So then context is done. Now we go to zones.
yeah,
So you're probably gonna draw like a box or some lines where your
yeah,
consolidation is,
yeah,
what line you want to trade the breakout at.
yeah,
So that's your zone.
Mm.
And then after that's gonna be price action. So what do you look for when breakouts? You look for, I guess it's gonna be like the answer is like candlestick breaking above the zone.
yeah,
Maybe you look for close above the zone because that's your price action.
yeah,
And then indicator could happen. Some people trade breakouts without indicators. I've
yeah,
done this myself. But you could look for, let's say, the R side, confirmation with the R side
yeah,
to confirm the breakout. Or you could look with your indicator you have that you use
yeah, yeah.
this
This
time.
which is looking at Bollinger Bands and Kepler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the way to do it. So we went through all the parts like uh, context, zones,
Context,
price
zones,
action, indicator.
price action, and indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this price action is, I think, is quite important when,
Yeah.
because that gives you more signal when to enter the trade. So it gives you that condition, that confirmation. Uh, so yeah, so like if it breaks a
Uh-huh.
certain above the the resistance level, for example, and on the second candle, it opens above the high, so that's your entry.
Mhm.
That would be your entry.
Could be that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
could be that.
And this is
Of
gonna be
course.
more reliable. You're
Yeah.
maybe gonna take less trades, but yeah, you should. Well, you're not gonna take less trades. You're gonna take the same trades, but the trades that you take are gonna have a maybe smaller stop loss and a bigger chance to get in profit.
Yeah.
So that's the only difference. But you go with whatever you prefer. And
Okay.
I think you took a personality test yesterday, or
Yeah.
yeah,
I
or two
found
days
that
ago,
really interesting, guys. If
and
you haven't
that's
done
really
it, definitely
interesting.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should like drop a link or
yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
I'll try to do that. So what we found out is that you are more the type that's gonna go through some steps before taking a trade. It's not like you look at
Yeah.
the chart, say, okay, I buy here because I feel like it, or I look at the chart and analyze and I buy. You're gonna have like multiple steps, like we talked about before,
Yeah.
the four different parts, right? So you need these things, and I think you may be more likely to enter above the high than just when it breaks out. I
Yeah.
think you'll be comfortable more with that, but you
Okay.
have to test it for yourself, of
Yeah.
course. I like this question here. This is from Christian. Christian, how much do you guys practice and how?
How much do we
Yeah,
practice?
I'll let you answer that. Do you practice or?
um.
And by practice, we mean like becoming better, not taking trades, because trading is different than practicing.
Yeah. You mean practicing the strategy or?
Practicing everything, you have to practice everything.
Oh, right. Well, I think. Well, isn't like taking trades like practicing? So
No,
you're
that's trading.
trading, right?
So take an athlete for example, right? Take a soccer player. He's gonna play soccer.
Yeah.
That's like trading, but he's gonna practice before. So he's
Right.
gonna go to the gym. He's gonna
So is that
practice
more like
on
the
the field.
backtesting? You mean like backtesting
Yeah,
the
it's everything.
strategy?
It's
Or,
everything.
all right. So how do you? So I'll let you answer
Okay,
first. So
sure,
maybe
sure, sure,
I'm
sure.
not getting the.
All right, all right, all right.
So
So
please.
practice is like for me it's a huge term because you have to look at everything, and yeah,
Right.
Christian says anything exactly.
All
So
right.
there's a lot to it, but for the longest time, I used to break down my schedule. Like every week, I had what I call the 7 hour force trade. I was spending 7 hours on my trading.
Mm,
Okay, like I was pretty much doing 1 hour or 2 hours of practicing every week, I think,
right.
and I was trading at the same time. Like trading was not to that. Trading was like on the side.
Okay.
It was 7 hours to become better.
Hmm.
And there was practicing, there was reviewing my trades, there was a bunch of other things.
Right.
But that's practicing. And then the other part is that after the market's like closed or after you finish trading, you want to go back to your trades, review,
Yeah.
and I think that's practice
Okay.
because you become
Right.
better. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
meditation you do in the morning,
Yeah.
that's practice because you practice yourself to become better when you get to the market.
Okay.
So
Right.
those all those
Yeah.
things are practicing.
Well, I think for me, because I think I was still working on the strategy, like
Yeah.
how to implement that. That I didn't take really that into consideration. I think I was a bit going all over the place and trying so many different things and not being consistent. And I think that is so vital to it's working on your consistency,
Yeah.
the time you trade, the type of trades you enter, being clear of the trades, why you're entering the trade.
Mm.
Um, following the strategy. I think that's the things that I haven't been doing. So
Yeah.
I know I've been looking at charts like all the time. I sometimes I even stop. Sometimes I'm watching a movie and I stop the movie halfway and I go look at the charts. So so
That's all right. Yeah, yeah.
so I'm very. I love trading. I love finding out more about the markets.
Mm,
And yeah, it's a journey. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
it's been incredible. And for me, like personally, it's important to understand asset classes. So stocks is definitely one
mm,
that I want to learn more about in trading. So I think it gives people a lot of possibilities to
yeah.
do more things, not just sticking to trade, but more
Mm,
when you become profitable and
yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So
So here's another unexpected witch practice: talking to people about your strategy and what you trade.
yeah,
Because then what happens is become clearer,
right.
you understand it better,
Yeah, yeah.
and you trade it better overall. That's a good practice. People don't think about that. They just
Mm.
say, "Well, I trade and I'm going to trade,"
Mm.
but they don't think about like teaching other people
Yeah,
because you learn a lot while you teach.
yeah,
That's a good
definitely.
practice too. Yeah.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
that's a great one. I've seen something about the turtle trader system. It's just still profitable. I've never tested that. I think it works maybe better for stocks or commodities, but I've never seen it for forex.
Sorry,
The turtle system trader. This is by I think no, yeah, Anmol.
okay, right.
Yeah,
Turtle.
you've read the book, right?
No, I actually haven't.
Okay,
What is that about? What is that book
so
about?
it's a
For
system they
people who don't
created
know.
in the I think in the 90s or before, a couple of years ago,
Right.
and basically they give that system to different people, and they taught people to trade it, and then people had different results. Like some people did really well, some people didn't do well, even
Okay.
though they had the rule and the system in place to
Right.
trade. And this is like a trend trading system,
Yeah.
which means you have like bigger drawdown and stuff. But yeah, it's a system that's been made available publicly, even I
Oh,
think in the
okay.
journal or something.
All right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting. Okay. I'll take a look at that. All right.
exactly. Gregory, are there indicators that tell you more than simple overbought, oversold? I don't know why you would need more than that. Like, do
Yeah.
indicators tell you like, okay, the bank's gonna buy or no? So that
Well,
doesn't happen,
it
right?
doesn't.
So
I don't think that happens. But I think, like for example, there are some like some signals that I bought actually looks at different indicators and just makes it simpler to it combines two indicators together. So
yeah,
those are scripts basically. They're
yeah,
script
that's
together.
a good thing.
They look at two different indicators and they combine the data into one simple.
Hmm.
Yeah, it becomes another indicator in a way
Yeah.
because it's actually taking data from two different places and putting them together.
Mm.
Um, so
And I guess the other step to that might be multiple time frame. So an
yeah,
indicator that combines two time frame. And I've not done that myself. I've not
right,
seen many people use that. But if you can combine, let's say, two overbought, two oversold, it's kind of good,
right,
I
yeah.
think. So that will be interesting for sure.
Yeah, like looking at, for example, at Fibonacci levels. So if you have like a level that matches on the lower time frame and on a higher time frame, definitely that's going to be a stronger resistance or support
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
So yeah,
Animal. I guess that's once you found the right strategy and it works perfectly in the backtest and in the real market,
yeah,
what kind of things do you need to keep on improving yourself? It's all about reviewing every day, every week, every month, whatever. It's all about going back on your performance, and it's all about finding with those reviews
yeah,
what you can improve, what you can make better.
mhm,
Like for me, I find ways to become better all the time.
yeah,
I review, right? So I can find ways to improve all the time, and then it's all about testing those, reviewing, and backtesting a lot. And I was told like recently by Michael Tummel,
right,
he said something like when he's backtesting, most of the things backtest don't work. They're like crappy and bad
right,
at the best. But then you come across this one or two things that really work and improve your stuff better,
hmm,
and that's what makes all the difference, right? So either that or you go to different markets, you go to different time frame, different strategies, and that's how you become better. And you have to keep working on your weaknesses and your strength.
yeah, yeah.
Working like you make your strength better, you improve your weaknesses, and that's how you move forward.
You just got to keep moving forward.
Exactly. That's good. Uh, RM Mister, wonderful. What a nice name. If you put sell but price goes to up. So if you sell and it goes above, how do you process it? Let it hit the stop loss, or you make stop loss by hand. Yeah, there's two ways you can trade. Way number one is you put stop loss and you respect them.
Yeah.
Way number two is you try to do everything manually. Way number one is easy. Way number two is stressful, and you
Yeah,
get to not
because
understand what happens.
yeah, because you have to keep watching, and
Yeah.
if you just like, sometimes you if you just set it up so the computer will automatically stop you out, I think you take a little bit of the emotion out of the trade,
Hmm.
because it's just going to do it for you, instead of you having to close the trade.
Yeah, yeah. And with the second way that you just do everything manually, there's a chance that like it's gonna slip at some point, and you lose a big chunk,
Yeah,
right, for
yeah,
some reason.
yeah. That happened to
So
me for sure.
yeah,
That,
yeah, and it happened to me, of course, in the beginning for sure. So that's the compromise you have to make, and I would and like for me, there's no reason I would set a chart watching it because I want to travel, I want to do other things.
yeah,
So why would you pick number two when you have to be there and distressed, or like be free and travel,
yeah, for
right?
sure.
So that's kind of how I see it.
Of course, everybody's different, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
uh, pick and choose what works for you, in the end.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So Gregory says stochastic, for example, takes the entire range of the candle for calculation to measure the health of the main trend. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. So different indicators have different things, and some work better sometimes, and the other work better the other time. Like they always work really well until they stop working. So you have to understand that even though it looks better now, might be different in a month or whatever, and it always varies. So yeah, use whatever you comfort, and you have to use what you understand too. Like if you use a tool that you don't understand, like if I were to use Fibonacci, I understand the tool, but I cannot use it.
right.
Right. So if I were to use that and try to make it work, it wouldn't work. So that's the basic thing with that. Someone says, what was your percentage, your tax percent while trading in Vietnam? I pay taxes in Canada, so don't worry about that because I don't work in Vietnam. But I don't know about Vietnam.
I,
What the tax
I
are?
don't know.
Yeah, doesn't really matter. Uh, yeah, all indicators should be part of a context. That's what I handle. Yeah.
Mm,
So the like you need to have the context as we talked about,
yeah,
because
for
even
sure.
though it's telling you that yeah, like overbought, oversold,
Yeah.
what does that tell you? So
Yeah, you cannot rely just on one indicator. Yeah, it
yeah,
need to combine it with the
yeah.
overall context.
But I think war indicators are really good, and that's kind of what I've used over time. Is that they give you this objective way of seeing the market, of seeing like a level, like
Yeah,
a number,
yeah,
as opposed to if you look at the chart. Like yes, like
yeah,
you can look at price action and the chart, you're gonna
yeah,
get the same information,
yeah.
but how you interpret it,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
people
really
will
hard.
interpret that in
Yeah,
different ways,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, it's more objective when you're looking, for example,
Exactly.
at
And you have the
RSI.
number, yeah.
Yeah,
So even though it works less, let's say, or it's not as reliable,
yeah,
you're sending a lot of stress of looking at of looking at chart
yeah.
and trying to understand what happens. So I think that's what happens with indicators.
Yeah.
Christian, Etienne, I know you talked to a bunch of traders. How do you figure out if they're legitimate or bullshit? That's a good question. Because most, yeah, don't actually make money trading. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's a good point. Uh, Recently, it's funny. I've tried to reach out to more people for the podcast, and then I kind of read their stuff, read their website,
Yeah.
and I just feel like they're not like traders, right?
Right.
Or I just feel like they're not like working what they preach
Hmm.
sometimes. So I try to reduce it, but for me, it's pretty much just a feeling. And I always commit to the mindset that I want to get like I want to say like, if that's something valuable to teach,
Right.
then it's good. Like who
Yeah.
cares? Because I've learned sometimes more from non-traders and traders, people
Okay.
who work in psychology or
Right.
coaches and
Yeah, yeah.
whatever psychologists than traders. So that can be useful sometimes.
That's very
But you
interesting.
need to put it like don't ask someone who doesn't trade on how to like look at Fibonacci.
Yeah, of
No,
course. Yeah.
and that's the point. But I
Yeah.
think they have a good point. And
Yeah.
if there are like sometimes you have to put this aside, the fact that like people are trading or not. Some people don't trade that often, and for me that's fine. But they might have mastered the process, or they might have stuck with
Yeah.
other people,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that's valuable sometimes. So you have to understand do they provide result to other people?
Yeah.
And if not, if they just take other people's money and run away,
Yeah.
then they're not. Right? Then you don't want to have them.
Of course.
But that's the principle. And yeah,
Hmm.
there's some people that like it's really a feeling to you. Like you just feel it. I don't know why, but yeah. If you see like a pile of cash and a laptop with a chart, it's not really good. You don't want to talk to them usually, right? But yeah, that's always a problem with trading. Anyway,
We were talking about yesterday about like jumping from system to system,
Yeah.
because I know there some I've heard traders say before that, oh, you can't keep jumping from one system to another, you're never going to get anywhere like that. But we're having this conversation yesterday, but in fact, well, it's a balance, right? It's like you have to know what works and what doesn't for you, so you do have to jump a little bit. But I think you got to get to a point where I think it comes back to actually back testing like your stats,
yes, yes and
because
no.
then you start knowing what really works for you or not. I guess putting a strategy together.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. But the thing is, with the backtest, you don't really know whether you like to trade it or whether you're good at trading it. Like you can backtest something that looks really nice,
right.
but when you get traded live, it's like I'm not sure if I want to trade that, or
Okay.
it doesn't feel like it's gonna work for you.
Yeah, because I know you
So-
started like with
Yeah,
breakout strategy,
yeah.
right? And
It started with reversals, then went to breakouts, then went to
Breakouts.
day trading a little bit,
Yeah.
and I started to kind of win when I went back to breakouts and reversals.
Mm.
But then I had like too many things, so I had to remove a few things before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you have to try.
Mm.
The only problem is that you have to put like a limit. So if you restructured, and I really didn't do that, but I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
if you decide like okay, for like my plan is to become to stick to a system.
Yeah.
So for the next month, 1 month, 2 month, I'll try this
Yeah.
one. I'll see how it works.
Yeah.
And after 2 months, I'll reevaluate, see how it works. Is
Right.
it good or not?
Yeah.
And then I'll maybe spend 2 months in the other system,
Yeah.
and then 2 months in the other one.
Yeah.
At least you have like a schedule or breakdown.
Of course.
What to
What
do.
you don't want to do is spend one day on one system, and the next day on another system, then
exactly.
you're mixing all of the strategies,
Yeah.
which is what I've been doing. To be honest, I have no problem saying
Yeah.
that. I've been doing that. I've been jumping from one thing to another in a very short amount of time. So it didn't really give me the time to actually test it properly, test the strategy properly, which I'm starting to do now. So
It's awesome.
it's great.
Good. Question from Chris. This is interesting. So he says, so basically trading on a naked chart versus indicators seems to be where most people are heading to. So price action.
Yeah.
Is it the best recommendation for people starting out? And the answer is no. Like price action is like I was speaking with Nevin Pritiani, really interesting. He said that there's like different trends in the trading industry.
Yeah.
Like people talk before a lot about indicators, like
Right.
these tools in your chart. You have 10 indicators that you look at, right, below your chart, and then they move to like a kind of price action. Then they move to more like patterns, like bad pattern, which we talked about before
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff. And that's just like how things evolve. Different tendency, different. It's like in fashion, like different trends, whatever. And people like that. So price action, people realize now it's pretty popular on blogs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I've come across quite a few. So
yeah, but I couldn't realize price action is more difficult than it seems because you don't have this like objective indicator system. So you look at the chart and then you have to interpret. So good for people that
Yeah.
are more discretionary, but if you're really systematic, you cannot use that, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I think from what I've gathered from listening to people who actually trade mostly price action is that they never rely just on price action alone.
Yeah, so
Um,
some people do, but
Okay, I haven't
yeah.
come across
Yeah, yeah.
anybody that really just
Yeah.
purely just
Okay, yeah.
price action. Um, from what I've seen, they usually always use like at least one objective indicator to go with it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's this fact that you look at the chart and it might look messy. You have to be able to distinguish what's messy, what's
Yeah.
good, and what's not good, and then trade on the good thing.
Yeah.
If you cannot do that, or if you second guess yourself on that, then it can be a disaster.
Right.
So Alejandro says another option is to first learn and practice a system until you're comfortable with it
Mhm.
or with your level, and then test it for some time and evaluate and decide. Exactly, it's all about that for sure.
Hmm.
Use price action with indicator to back up my assessment. Yeah, as you said. So price action plus indicator.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another option is practice at 1 month, and then you go back to evaluate. Yeah, exactly. So, guys, I really appreciate this. Was a good session. I think it's getting really loud here with people
Yeah.
screaming and stuff. So we'll wrap it up here. But give a like, enjoy the video. Thing. I'll try to put. Can people find you somewhere or?
Well,
No,
yeah.
can I
I
put
mean,
you?
I'm the only Wilson Ramirez Galucho in the world,
Nice.
so that's very easy to find me. Um, I'm also, a lot. I'm trying to promote a lot of this successful mindset, and so it's something that I'm working on right now, and hopefully you'll hear more about that soon.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah.
Love that.
So
So
Etienne, it was a pleasure to be here. Thanks for so much for inviting me to your podcast here.
nice, pleasure. So if you guys want to join, I think there's a link below for the Facebook group, and Wilson's in the Facebook group. I
Yeah,
think so. You'll
I
see
am.
you post something recently, a picture, so you
Yeah.
should be able to find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just request to join, and it's a free thing. So on Facebook,
Sure.
and yeah, we'll yeah, perfect,
Yeah.
cool. Hope you guys liked it, of course. So give a like, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow for the next video.
All right.
Ciao. There we go.
45 minutes.
15 hours watch time.